up, Steelers Nation? It's Steelers Chalk Talk. I'm Tank. He's Mike. Free agency. Well, Mike, it was good. It was bad. It was bittersweet. Let's talk about some of the losses, first of all. You knew Bud Dupree. Well,
that one hurt.
It hurts.
That's the one.
It hurts.
Yep.
Look, if you never got to meet Bud up close and personal, first of all, he was a physical specimen. I mean, just put together an incredible physical specimen, but he was a great guy, too. A really nice guy. He loved Pittsburgh. He loved the Steelers organization. But when the tall man from Tennessee come a-calling with a bag of cash, he had to go.
Yeah, obviously, especially after getting franchised and, he had the injury. So he gets the opportunity to go play somewhere else to get for a little bit more money, and he wasn't going to get that from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but fair ado, fair fun well, Bud Dupree. You were appreciated here in Pittsburgh. The funny thing about Bud's career, though, for the first couple of years, people were about ready to throw him on the trash heap. He keeps running by the quarterback. He runs by the quarterback. You Yunzers out there weren't picking up on one thing. You gotta get by that huge offensive left tackle first, which he was doing consistently. You know this, Mike. I said this. Once Joey Porter was gone, you saw what happened. Bud Dupree got to the next level.
Yeah, you were able to see how he was able to turn that corner on that big offensive tackle with those long arms and get low and cut that corner short. The other person that does it great is TJ Watt. Now you're going to need Highsmith to step up and fill the void.
Well, we're going to find out, but Bud Dupree will be missed. And watch out for the Tennessee Titans, the tall man of Tennessee next year with Derek the Horse Henry in the backfield, Bud Dupree. We might be playing them in the AFC Championship game right here in Pittsburgh. Just dreaming, 11 months ahead of time. Hey, another guy who I'm just shocked because he saved the Steelers bacon a couple games last year. Go back, watch the tape on Mike Hilton. 3 or 4 of those wins are in Mike Hilton's pocket, man. That guy played out of his mind last year, and Mike, I don't understand the Steelers getting rid of Mike Hilton.
Well, to me, they must really like who they see coming up in the draft, or they must really like Justin Lane, who they drafted last year, the big, tall, rangy corner, and, he'll have his hands full. But again, losing Mike Hilton, it's a big loss.
Mike might be right. Lane coming along, somebody in the draft. But when somebody like Mike Hilton does the season he did, remember some of the tackles in the backfield he had? Some of the crushing hits he delivered? I don't see how the Steelers give up on somebody that has proven talent for the future. So that deal's done, gone. And, I really wish Mike Hilton would still be here.
Well, we'll see him twice a year.
Yeah, since he's good with the kitty cats over in Cincinnati. That's even what makes it even worse. All right, another, baffling loss at corner. So here goes another corner, Steven Nelson down the pike too, man.
And again, to me, that shows that they must have confidence in Justin Lane and in his ability to step up and play for the Steelers next year.
Well, there you go. It almost feels like your defense was gutted. It really felt bad when Tyson Alualu said, I'm going back to Jacksonville to be with my family and kids, and he's gone, and he was throwing centers out of the way last year, and he was going at quarterback, and you had one of the best front sevens in the league. Well, when Bush was still playing, and then Bud was here, then they got hurt. Man, I'm glad Alualu has decided to stay.
And I'm not sure what happened. It seemed as if he was gone, and for some reason, he had a change of heart. He didn't sign the paper. He comes back to Pittsburgh, and here he is with the Steelers.
Well, the bottom line on Tyson was his family was back in Jacksonville, living there. They did, because he was drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars, didn't want to upset the family, felt it was time to get back home to the family. Maybe he thought he was making the right decision, and he walked home, honey, I'm home, and she hit him over the head with a frying pan and said, what are you doing? Go back to the Steelers. I don't know, but I'm just glad he is back.
Well, he's back. You got Cam Hayward, so you got that interior line back, and you also obviously you have TJ Watt. Again, Highsmith got some playing time last year when Bud Dupree went down, but that's going to be a need that they're going to need to get some depth in the draft. the outside linebacker rush position.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. When you look at the front seven from last year to this year, well, look, you lost Bud Dupree, but you're still intact with Hayward, Alawalulu up the middle. Stephon Tuitt better have a career year this year. TJ Watt should have been Defensive Player of the Year. You got Mr. Bush, the Predator, coming back. Another free agent that they signed, gratefully so. Mickey Spillane, Robert Spillane. I love this guy. He likes to hit things, and that's what you want out of your linebackers. People that like to hit things, man.
Well, hopefully you got Devin Bush in there most of the time, and he's going to be a guy that can fill in and plug the void whenever someone needs a break, or he might be able to play other multiple linebacker positions on the inside. But again, he's more of a special teams guy, and fill that void when someone goes down.
Speaking of linebackers, they brought back Marcus Allen, Penn State project, too. He's one of those hybrid linebackers that Mike Tomlin likes. Little bit undersized. Is he a safety? Is he an inside linebacker? This will be Marcus Allen's year to step up and whack some people and see if he can play at the professional level. Talking about another free agent who I'm so glad they kept this guy, because he put in a lot of work in the offseason to get ready for last season. The mammoth, the mountain of a man, Zach Banner.
Yeah, I mean, they got, they lost Pouncey, and Villanueva is still out there, so they're going to re-sign him. But they do need some holes to fill on the offensive line, and it looks like they're going to build around Banner, and DeCastro's getting up there in age with his contract. So I'm curious to see how much longer DeCastro will be at the Steelers now, too.
Yeah, David DeCastro's a smart guy. He's made his money, and he's one of the best in the league. But the signing of Zach Banner, I think, speaks well for his future. You started to see him develop more, especially for a lineman, too. Things, feet and hands. Well, coupled with that big size of his, should make him a outstanding right tackle this year. All right. One of the other big people that they re-signed and kept here, cornerback Cam Sutton. So you lost Steven Nelson, you lost Mike Hilton. Now you put the world on Cam Sutton.
You got Cam Sutton, you got Joe Hayden again, and then you still have Justin Lane. So that seems like that's going to be their core. Maybe they find someone in the draft. We'll see. Again, we'll see how much confidence they have in Sutton and see how much confidence they have in Lane.
I know he was thrilled with this next one. Thank goodness Jordan Berry, the punter, got re-signed.
I'm not really worried about that. I'll tell you who I do like what they did with Kalen Ballage from the Los Angeles Chargers. He filled in. He was with the Chargers. He was with the Dolphins. He's filled in when some key running backs have went down, and I know for a fact, he was a great pickup in the fantasy football as well. He is a surprise when he gets on the field. He's a strong running back. He's a bigger back, and he might be able to help the running back position on that first and second down.
They definitely need help at running back. They haven't brought in free agents. Now, he thinks I'm nuts, and I mentioned this a couple months ago. Every dying dog has a last burst of energy. If it's me, and I know this is crazy, I go get Adrian Peterson, and I go get Frank Gore. I pay them league minimum, and I load them up with incentives. Each one of you, if you can get to 500 yards, that's another $1 million. If you get 1,000 yards, either one of you, I'll give you $3 million. I'd get Adrian Peterson and Frank Gore in that backfield. At least bring them into training camp. You got nothing to lose. Both of them are sitting out there right now.
Actually, you're going to just end up filling up the training room with those two guys.
He sees it different than I do. Frank Gore last year with the Jets, go back and look at the tape. He was running people over. But still, the Steelers need to answer that running back position. Speaking of free agents, and I feel bad for him at this point, unless James Conner has just said, you know what, tell my agent I'm staying in Pittsburgh.
Well, and that's the thing. Will they be able to sign James Conner back? Again, free agent, they picked up Kalen Ballage in the offseason. They still have Benny Snell, Jalen Samuel, McFarland. So they still have a full room. Will they be able to bring James Conner back because of the Kalen Ballage sign, or are they going to go in a different direction in the draft and bring a guy in there? So if I'm James Conner, is he going to wait until after the draft or is he going to do it beforehand? And are the Stil'rs going to make that move? And if they do find someone in the draft, James Conner might be the odd man out, trying to just find a contract anywhere.
We're going to find out. Hey, one thing's for sure. This guy had some flash and some sizzle, baby. And, of course, Randy Fichtner didn't use him right at all. Ray Mccloud, man, they're bringing him back. Fichtner had no idea because he wasn't your prototypical running back. He wasn't your prototypical wide receiver. Randy Fichtner had no idea what to do with that talent.
Yeah, and that's the type of player, you look at the Carolina Panthers last year, it had Curtis Samuel, who was a receiver for them, kind of went into the running back role when Christian McCaffrey went down. That's something Ray Mccloud can do. He can play a little bit of a receiver, a little bit of running back. He can be that versatile guy that can switch back and forth and kind of try to create mismatches when you have, your other receivers out there in the field. You can move Ray Mccloud into the backfield or maybe get him on some speed sweeps. You see the way the Chiefs use Tyreek Hill sometimes and Mecole Hardman. Get those guys in motion. If they can be creative on offense, he's a great weapon, not just to have in the kicking game.
You talking Jordan Berry again, the kicking game? All right, so
the return game.
Oh, the return game. Jordan Berry does not return punts. You make no sense sometimes. Hey, I'm Tank. He is Mike McMahon, the former NFL quarterback, and that's Steelers Chalk Talk and free agency talk for this week.